What's good, everybody? Welcome to the Pull Up Show. My name is BJ Matthews, aka B Jizzle. Before we get started, follow us on the YouTube page, the Pull Up Basketball Podcast. Like, share, subscribe all of our YouTube videos by hitting that notification bell, by subscribe button as well. Like, donate to the Pull Up Basketball Podcast. You can do so by hitting that notification bell, right, to get all of our notifications when we do go live or we do drop videos like such this. Definitely appreciate all the support as well. If you'd like to, donate to the Pull Up Basketball Podcast, go to our Cash App. You know what I'm saying? We have super chat and super stickers available as well, where you guys can leave a comment on the YouTube page, send a little donation. We always appreciate what y'all have done for us, you know what I'm saying? All the donations that's been sent to us, we gratefully appreciate it. You know what I'm saying? Let's get started. All right, man. So here we are again with another great video. You know what I'm saying? This one's going to be pertaining to a conversation that has been talked about, you know what I'm saying, for the last couple of seasons, who's better between Joel Embiid and Nikola Jokic, as well as um, who's the MVP. Now, I have done videos like this last year. I have not done much video. I did one video on these two this year. That was about probably a month ago. It's on this my other channel I have. It's called Pro Basketball Updates. I have my own personal show on there. Shout out to Ticket TV for that, opportunity. But I have my own personal show outside of this one where I do have other subjects I talk about. So I did touch on this earlier this year. Now, Nikola Jokic and Joel Embiid are the two candidates right now, going after the MVP race. And they've been the two top candidates pretty much since last season. Jokic won. He has two MVPs. He was back-to-back last year, and he's possibly going to be back-to-back this year. And Joel Embiid has been right there on Nikola Jokic's heels since last season. Now, the Nuggets beat the Philadelphia 76ers last night, 111 to 116, where, many people wanted to see the matchup between those two. And just right before the game, Monday morning, it was announced by Adrian Wojnarowski that Joel Embiid would be sat out due to calf tightness. So if you guys see what Adrian Wojnarowski, who's an NBA insider, says, with Ramona Shelburne, he says the showdown of the MVP front is off today. The Sixers are ruling out Joel Embiid calf versus Nikola Jokic and Nuggets. Embiid attempted to work out this morning, but the team is taking a precautionary approach given the density of a recent schedule. I'm going to stop right there. Now, Joel Embiid with this calf tightness injury, I'm pretty sure a lot of people were, disappointed that he wasn't going to play, because this was going to anticipate who was probably going to run away with the MVP, since it's so close right now. Joel Embiid has been closing the gap over the last, 3 to 4 weeks with his play, while, the Jokic, the Nuggets been losing games. I think they won like a 5-game losing streak. That's when Joel Embiid was closing in on the gap. So this was the last game they was going to play together for the season to end. Now, the Sixers did beat the Nuggets earlier this year. I think Joel Embiid had 47 points and Jokic had 24. And then, the Sixers won. But they definitely wanted to see this game too. Now, there is a claim that Joel Embiid he ducked Nikola Jokic yesterday. Didn't want to play because, he's playing against Nikola Jokic. Now, I do know Joel Embiid has been dealing with, injuries, playing through, injuries, for the past few recent weeks. It looks like just watching him play. He did play against the Warriors this Saturday. I don't know if he played against the Suns, but he did play against the Warriors Saturday, and he played against the Suns. I don't know if he played against the Suns on Sunday. So, yeah. So actually, the game was on Friday. I'm sorry. The Warriors was on Friday. The Suns was on Sunday. So I don't know if he played against the Suns, but I know he played against the Warriors. But he has been looking like, hurt over the last few weeks. Now, did Joel Embiid duck Nikola Jokic? Well, to say that he ducked Nikola Jokic would mean that Joel Embiid's afraid of Nikola Jokic. And I'm not going to go that far. And I'm going to tell you why. First of all, I've been watching these two, go against each other pretty much the last of the 3 seasons when Nikola Jokic kind of became, that MVP caliber player. And I've been seeing Joel Embiid getting the best of Nikola Jokic. That's just my observation. You can look at through the eye test, you can look through the stats. Joel Embiid's been getting the best of Nikola Jokic. You know what I'm saying? Ever since they pretty much been playing against each other, Embiid has a 5-2 record over Nikola Jokic. If you look at the numbers right here, this is their stats. You know what I'm saying? Head to head, Joel Embiid's the top. Nikola Jokic is the bottom. Joel Embiid, you know what I'm saying? Averaging 25 points per game to Nikola Jokic's 21 points. Joel Embiid averaging 11.9 rebounds to Nikola Jokic's 8.9. Joel Embiid's 3.6 to Jokic's 7.4 assists. Steals, Joel Embiid 1.4 to 1.1 to Jokic. Blocks 2.1 to 1.1 Nikola Jokic. So this go back to what I said, that Joel Embiid to me is just a more dominant player when they play against each other, right? Even in recent time with Nikola Jokic at his best right now, you know what I'm saying? Game highs, you guys can see the top, Joel Embiid to Nikola Jokic's bottom. I mean, to me, he just when he plays against Nikola Jokic, he just gets the best of him. You know what I'm saying? The last 3 seasons, you can kind of just see Nikola Jokic and Joel Embiid head-to-head matchups, and you see Joel Embiid just getting the best of him, right? Whether that be in 2019, whether that be in 2021, 22, whether that be just this season, which was early this year. I mean, Joel Embiid just puts it on him. Now, here's the thing. Joel Embiid, if you want to say he ducked Nikola Jokic, you can say that he didn't want to give the voters a chance to write something and say that he wasn't going to win it because, or if he had a bad performance, or if he lost to Nikola Jokic, or if Nikola Jokic had like better numbers, even if it wasn't by a lot, there would be opportunity for him to lose that MVP, because remember, the Nuggets have a 51-25 record to the Sixers 49-27. So the Nuggets have a 2-game winning record over the Sixers, and a 2 games fewer losses than Sixers. So they have a better record. So if Jokic goes out there and has like a better game, or even if he doesn't have to have a better game, even if his team wins, then there would be a reason to give it to Jokic. See, this goes back to what I was saying just last year. I feel like that people hold Embiid to a higher standard than Jokic, and that's why I feel like Embiid's a better player, because you don't hold higher players to higher standards if you don't think they're better. I watched Jokic last season. Y'all can see the March 14th game right there. I watched Embiid against Jokic last year, and Embiid was clearly the better player on the court. He was the better scorer. Jokic did have more rebounds and assists, but the rebounds he was averaging, assists he was averaging, was when Embiid was out the game. There was a point, if you guys have to watch actual film, there was a point in the game in the second half that Jokic barely played because he couldn't handle the physicality of Embiid, right? And that's when he plays against, just watch him play against Embiid. Jokic has trouble guarding him. It's a much better matchup when Embiid's guarding Jokic, right? So when I look at these two right here, I see Jokic being more of a fundamental finesse player, and I see Embiid being a more dominant big, he's a better offensive skilled player. And when I talk about offense, I'm talking about scoring. He can shoot a mid range, he can shoot the three, and he's able to score better in the post, right? He can dominate a game single handedly, to Jokic, who to me needs more of his teammates. Not to say Jokic hasn't done it before, but I'm saying Embiid's style of play is more of to take over a game, both offensively and defensively. That's what really, sets him apart. But for somebody to say that Embiid, was ducking Jokic, I just think people say, well, he was afraid of Jokic, which I just don't think that's true. But what I will say is he was somewhat not trying to give the voters a reason to take away the MVP, because in my opinion, Embiid should have won it last year. But they gave it to Jokic because of that last game, and they kept using the narrative that Jamal Murray wasn't playing, even though the Sixers had a better record. So they're trying to make any excuse to give the MVP to Jokic. And as I've told y'all before, these voters are going by advanced metrics. They're not going by wins and losses. They're not going by head-to-head matchups. They're not going by who's the better player. The fact of the matter is Jokic's advanced metrics is what these guys are going by. Most of these analysts and voters do not watch the games. And I know that for a fact. They don't watch the games. They look at that damn box score, and that's how they make their assumptions. So I think Embiid should have played last night if he wanted to really solidify his MVP. Because if he would have won and dominated Jokic again, it would be no question he was the MVP. But the fact that he didn't play, now the voters are going to be like, well, Jokic just won the last game of the season against these two. Jokic actually, what I'm saying, has, the advanced metrics. So they're going to use that. And he has a better record. Even though Embiid destroyed this guy earlier this season. So if I'm, looking at this, I still think Embiid's the MVP, but for him not to play yesterday, I mean, they're going to probably use that against him. So y'all just, what I'm saying, keep an eye out on that. But tell me what y'all think. That Embiid ducked Nikola Jokic last night? You know what I'm saying? Continue to follow us on the Pull Up Basketball Podcast. I will see you later. All right, peace.